Coming up next, Michigan hockey shows up big at the NCAA Regional in St. Louis. We'll check in at the halfway point of spring football. And it was a big weekend on the diamond for both baseball and softball.
Wolverine Sports Magazine is presented by Meyer.
Hi everybody, we're coming to you from Chrysler Center this week, where Michigan is hosting an NCAA Women's Gymnastics Regional. The main action begins today. The top two teams here move on to Fort Worth, Texas for the Nationals. More on that coming up later, but first, we begin with hockey. That was the scene Sunday night near St. Louis, Missouri. Michigan winning the NCAA Hockey Regional over MSU and earning a trip to the Frozen Four for the third consecutive season. Brandon Norado now 2 for 2, getting them there as the Wolverines head coach. The precursor to all of that, a Friday showdown with Powerhouse North Dakota. The first meeting between the programs since a regional in Cincinnati back in 2016. Michigan found itself down 1-0 after one, managing only 4 shots on goal against a Fighting Hawks team that for much of the season was in line for a number 1 seed. But the Wolverines kept composure and dominated in the third, scoring 3 times in the last 20 minutes to advance with a 4-3 win.
We did a great job managing the puck. We capitalized on opportunities, got the ozone going like we knew we wanted to, and things worked out there. So I thought it was a great game by the boys. Everyone contributed, everyone stepped up, and it was an awesome win.
Definitely just came from within on the guys and leaders stepping up to just talk and get the guys going on the ice. I think stacking a few shifts there in the first and the second to just kind of just hem them in their zone and kind of give us some momentum going into each shift. And once we saw like a little bit of their weaknesses, we were like, okay, we know we can take over.
What does it say about this team to take that blow in the first and have the composure to put together the final 40 minutes you did?
I feel like we've gone through so many ups and downs throughout the year. I feel like that adversity helps us when it comes to the tournament, and I feel like we've just been working on it all year, and now we feel comfortable on a big stage.
We just talked about doing it for the guy next to you. That's the mentality you need. These games, there's ups and downs in all hockey games, but in the NCAA tournament, there's even more. And it was huge to have that little reset, talk, and then go at it in the second period, and then follow that up with a huge third period.
The game and the regional was a homecoming for goalie Jake Barcheski, who grew up just down the road about 15 miles.
We heard in pregame warm-up with the crowd cheering for him, so we love him. Nothing but great words to say about the guy. He's just an awesome dude to have around, and even better goalie.
Once you have a guy like that in the net, I feel like you just want to play for him. He's a locker room guy. He's a great guy, and you just love him to death. So I feel like the block shots don't hurt as bad, and you're just so happy for him.
Did playing back here inspire you in any way?
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty special moment looking over in the corner there a couple times and seeing just some people that have never seen me play before, my family, my grandma, aunts and uncles, and just owe it to them and how big of a supporter they've been for me all my life, and especially my family. It's just nice to be able to play here in home where they can relax at their own place and not have to worry too much about travel expenses.
That set up a Sunday showdown against MSU in the regional final. Despite losing 4 of 5 to the Spartans heading in, the Wolverines were extremely confident.
It's do or die now, so we got to bring it for a full 60 minutes, and we're going to be ready for them.
They sure were. Once again, Michigan dominated the third period. Marshall Warren slid deep here, took a pass from Jacob Truscott, and put the Wolverines on top 2-1. In all, they scored 4 times in the period to eliminate the Spartans convincingly by a score of 5-2.
I think this time of the year, it's back and forth, but it's just getting pucks in, it's getting pucks out, it's winning your race and battles, it's just winning hockey.
I think it was really revenge, right? They beat us, 4 in a row? So for us, it was the mentality was just go and hunt them and make their lives hard. So just so proud of the guys that we got the job done because we owed them a lot. They took 2 trophies from us, so ending their season feels so good.
And that's what it takes to win games at this time of the year. It's playoff hockey. Comes down to third periods, and we stuck with it all night, played our hearts out, and found a way to win another game.
The highlight of the regional, Frank Nazar III delivering a mouth-watering assist to Gavin Brindley for what turned out to be the game winner, a goal that also gave them an appearance on SportsCenter's Top 10 Plays of the Day.
Just something that I read in the moment. I had a play like that earlier in the game where I had the chance to do that, and I kind of just passed on my backhand. Their guy got it, so I kind of went into intermission. I was like, oh, if I get another chance, try that, and end up getting a good chance there, so it's nice.
That was unbelievable. I was just telling the other guys, he gave me one of those back in the day, and I fanned on it, so I made sure that would never happen again. And yeah, I mean, he was unbelievable tonight, especially against North Dakota too, and yeah, I was just lucky enough to bury it.
The win locked up the program's 28 Frozen Four, tops in NCAA history. When you're on the ice there celebrating, just take me through those moments. And looking at Nar, looked like he was a little emotional. I mean, it all comes pouring out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, from where we were at Christmas break and where we are now, we've come a long way, and it's been a hell of a ride so far. So definitely don't want this to end, and we want to keep playing as long as we can.
Something special, like not many teams have been, through this much pain like we have for a winning team. So we've been through a lot this year, and to see the guys overcome this and take a step forward, and guys stepped up with Seamus Casey out, and it's just a proud moment for everyone on this team.
Coaching, your family, everyone's in it. There's a lot of emotion throughout the year, a lot of ups and downs, and that's what makes it that much more special. That's a coach's dream. When you put a game plan together and guys follow it to a T, it's never going to be perfect, but these guys are bought in. They're so close. They're brothers, and that's what being a Michigan man's all about, and couldn't be more proud of them.
When the dust settled, it was back on the ice at Yost Arena this week. The Wolverines prepping for their national semifinal game Thursday, April 11th against #1 overall seed Boston College.
We know how fortunate we are. We feel like we know how hard it is to get here, and you kind of pinch yourself because you could be the best team in the country and undefeated, and those two games are tough, and it's one game, and anything can happen. So we're fortunate, but we feel that we've earned that the last 3 years. Especially this year, and we've learned a lot from the last 3 years, or 2 years, and we're ready to take that into this Frozen Four.
I'll be in Minnesota with the guys, and we'll have much more on their game with BC leading up to that Frozen Four clash.
Wolverine Sports Magazine is presented by Meyer and brought to you in part by Alro Steel, by Abso Pure Water, and by Grand Traverse Resort.
Baseball hosted Big Ten preseason favorite Maryland in a 3-game series last weekend. Game 1, 4th inning, it's 5-0 Terps when senior Dylan Stanton singles home freshman Colin Priest with 1 out. Stanton had 2 hits on Friday as the comeback begins. 3 batters later, 2 on, 1 out for Mac Timbrook. The Kent State grad transfer smacks a ground rule double to center. That scores Cole Caruso, and it's a 5-2 game. Timbrook went 3 for 5 in the opener. Next up, Will Rogers from Mounds View, Minnesota. The junior belts a 3-run homer to left, his 3rd of the year, and the ball game is tied at 5. Michigan led 8-6 in the 9th when the Terrapins plated 5 runs. Sam Hajnar went 4 for 5 at the plate, had 3 RBIs, including the go-ahead hit. Maryland takes the opener 11-9. Saturday, Game 2, Jacob Denner, the Big Ten pitcher of the week, had his good stuff going. He tossed 7 2/3, gave up 1 run and just 3 hits while striking out 6 batters. The southpaw from Jersey picked up his 2nd win of the season. The Wolverines broke the game open in the 2nd when they put a snowman on the board. Priest led off with a homer to left field. The ball hit the top of the right field grandstand at softball's Carol Hutchins Stadium. It's the 4th round tripper of the season for the Florida native, making it 1-0. 2 batters later, Caruso with the run-scoring double to right field, scoring Stanton to make it 2-0. The rally continues, bases are loaded. Chicago freshman A.J. Garcia chases 2 of the 3 home with a 2-bagger. Caruso and Rogers both touch a 4-0 Michigan lead. Up next, Mitch Voigt. He singles home Garcia and Kyle Dernetti to make it 6-0. And the fun continues. Steven Rustich puts all of his 225 pounds into it, smashes a 2-run homer to center field. That's his 9th of the season. Michigan scores 12 runs on 12 hits and beats Maryland 12-1. On Sunday, the Maize and Blue jumped out to a 1-0 lead, compliments of Rogers, who doubled home Stanton. 2-0 in the third. Rustich opened the inning with a double. Priest brings him home with a base hit, and the Wolverine lead grows to 3-0. Maryland tied the game in the fourth inning and then took a 4-3 lead in the fifth thanks to this Elijah Lambros solo shot. The Wolverines tied it up in their half of the fifth. Cole Caruso delivers Rustich with an RBI single. That makes it 4 apiece. Still tied in the sixth when Voigt goes deep. The sophomore clubs a clutch, 2-out, 2-run homer to left. It's his 4th dinger of the year, and Michigan goes up 6-4. Bottom 7th, the Wolverines pad their lead. Timbrook, a 3-run homer to right. It's the grad student's 2nd home run of the year. Michigan wins 9-4 to take 2 out of 3 in the series. And what a boost for the program. Michigan handed Maryland its first Big Ten Series defeat since April of 2021. Softball dusted Indiana in Bloomington last weekend. On Friday, Michigan took a 1-0 lead in the second inning when Kiki Thole hit her 6th home run of the season. She's really found that power stroke of late. The Hoosiers quickly took the lead in their half of the frame on this 2-run shot that made it 2-1. The Wolverines tied it up in the third when Oregon native Maddie Erickson delivered a double to score Ella McVeigh and Ellie Sealer. It's tied up at 3 apiece. The next batter was Thole, who came through with her 2nd hit of the game. The base knock scores Erickson, and Michigan goes up 4-3. The Hoosiers scored 2 to leapfrog back on top, but McVeigh went 2 for 3 at the plate. This double in the 4th inning scored Maddie Ramey and knots the game back up. A sac fly and a wild pitch helped Michigan to a 7-5 lead. It's 9-5 in the 5th, 2 on, 2 out for Sealer, who says, "Too bad, IU." She strokes a 3-run homer, 3rd of the season, making it 12-5. The Maize and Blue got 3 more runs in the 6th. Erickson led off the inning with her 7th home run of the year. Michigan run rules Indiana 15-6. On Saturday, Erickson picked up where she left off the night before. This first inning 2-run shot gave Michigan a 2-0 lead. That's her 8th home run of the season. Freshman Erin Hain picked up her 11th win in the circle. She gave up 1 run and just 4 hits while striking out 7 Hoosiers. It's 3-0 in the 3rd inning when the pride of Algonac, Michigan, Ella Stevenson, clears the bases with his 2-out double, scoring Janisa Conway and Ramey to make it 5-0. Ella went 2 for 4 at the plate, had 3 RBIs. To the 5th, it's 5-1 Michigan before Thole goes deep to left field, her 7th of the year, making it 6-1 Wolverines. Kiki capped the scoring in the 7th. Her double scores Lexi Delamonica. The captain with 2 hits, 2 runs batted in. Michigan wins this one 7-1. Sunday, the Wolverines took a 1-0 lead in the 2nd inning. Indiana Langford's 2-out slap scores Ava Costales all the way from second base, and Michigan is on the board first. It's 1-1 in the 3rd when Stevenson gets a bases-loaded single, scoring Lily Valamon and Delamonica. Do the math, that makes it 3-1 Michigan. 4th inning, Conway, the freshman, belts her 8th home run of the year. That's a 2-run blast and gives Michigan a 6-1 lead. More long ball action in the 5th inning when Valamont from Trenton, Michigan, sends this one downriver. She tattoos the ball with 2 on base. The 3-run shot, Lily's 4th of the season, makes the final score 10-1. Michigan scoring 32 runs in the 3-game sweep. Women's gymnastics is hosting an NCAA regional this weekend here at Chrysler. The action officially began on Wednesday. The Wolverines making their 33rd appearance in postseason play. The Wolverines will compete in the first session of the 2nd round today, April 4th at 1 o'clock against Alabama, Kent State, and Penn State. Should Michigan finish in the top 2 of the session, they'll advance to the regional final on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Top-ranked Oklahoma is competing in the 2nd session of the opening round. That's Thursday night at 7. The top 2 teams in the regional advance to the 12-team NCAA championships in Fort Worth, Texas, beginning April 18th. On the men's side, congratulations to Fred Richard, who was named the Big Ten Gymnast of the Year on Tuesday. The sophomore currently owns the #1 all-around score in the country. The third-ranked Wolverines go for their 4th straight conference title this weekend in Champaign, Illinois. The second-ranked women's lacrosse team came up just short in its Saturday showdown against top-ranked Maryland. Michigan held a 4-2 lead at the half and extended the lead to open the third quarter. But the Terps netted 4 of the next 5 goals to tie the game at 6. The Wolverines outshot Maryland 28-19, with juniors Jill Smith and Julia Schwab leading Michigan with 2 goals each. But it wasn't enough as Maryland rallied and escaped Ann Arbor with an 8-6 win. That was the first loss of the season for the women. They'll look to start a new streak this weekend on the road when they visit Penn State. History for the men's program. Michael Bain collected 5 points against Johns Hopkins to become the program career leader in points, goals, and assists. But the 14th-ranked Wolverines lost to the #8 Blue Jays 15-11 in Baltimore. The Wolverines close out the home regular season slate Sunday when they host Rutgers at 7 o'clock. You can see that game live on Big Ten Network. Women's tennis holds steady at #2 in the country, beating Indiana and Purdue last weekend at the Varsity Tennis Center. Their win streak has now ballooned to 10. Sunday, the Wolverines dropped the doubles point and then captured the first 4 singles matches to knock off the Boilermakers 4-1. Michigan travels to Michigan State Saturday to take on the Spartans. The men beat Northwestern and Illinois on the road last week. That's now 4 consecutive victories. They return home this weekend to battle Indiana Friday and Purdue on Sunday. A milestone for men's swimming and diving. Junior Gal Groomy battered his own school record in the 100 butterfly with a time of 44.46 seconds to finish 7th at the NCAA Championships last week in Indianapolis. The team finished 14th. Arizona State claimed the national championship. Rowing began its season in Columbus, Ohio Saturday, competing against Virginia and Duke in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Michigan's first varsity 8-boat was a winner in the morning and afternoon sessions. The 9th-ranked Wolverines will be back in the water Saturday morning when they take on MSU. The action gets underway at 9 a.m. on Belleville Lake. Spring football, the Wolverines have completed 8 of 15 practices so far, and things are going well. New coaches, new players getting plenty of key reps together as the building process continues at Schembechler Hall. As you know, 6 offensive linemen that played on the national championship team hope to be on NFL rosters this fall. So you'll see some new faces this season as the group continues to gel this spring.
We're working as a group to find our identity as an O-line, because I feel like last group kind of had their thing, because it was 5 guys working together for like 5-6 years, so it was just kind of a tight-knit group, so I think we're kind of on our way to that.
New leaders are emerging in the receiving corps. There's a lot of young talent returning for the Wolverines.
We don't got Rome, we don't got CJ, so that's it don't got to be a bad thing. That just means it's our chance to go do something. So I think every day just coming out understanding that we, as a group, like individually, we haven't done a whole lot yet, and this is a year for a lot of us to show what we can do.
And there's been a number change on the defense as edge rusher Josiah Stewart switched from number 5 to number 0.
I used to wear it back in my old school. I wore it when it first came out. So I asked Mikey actually when I came here. He wasn't budging, so I had to wait a year.
Josiah says he has big shoes to fill with the departure of Mikey Sainristel, who's on his way to the NFL. Stewart led all defensive linemen last year with 38 tackles, including 5.5 sacks.
Any flaw, I thought I might have last season, just, sharpening it every day, just becoming the best player I can, and that's on and off the field, being where I'm supposed to be, handling my business, just having another year of really, becoming a pro.
And don't forget the spring game, April 20th at the Big House. And remember, I'll be in St. Paul next week with a hockey team, giving you coverage of the Frozen Four as the Wolverines gun for a national championship. We'll see you next week right here on Wolverine Sports Magazine.